Ever picked up a book, read a few pages, and realized you don't remember a thing? Frustrating, isn't it? We've all been there, our minds wandering while our eyes scan the page, only to find that the words have slipped through the cracks of our memory. This isn't just a problem for students cramming for exams, but for anyone who wants to retain valuable information from books, articles, or reports. Whether it's for personal growth, professional development, or simply the joy of learning, remembering what we read is an essential skill. You might be wondering, why is this so important? Well, the ability to recall what we read not only enhances our understanding, but also aids in applying that knowledge in real-life situations. It's like building a mental library, where all the information is neatly organized and readily accessible. By the end of this video, you will have a grasp on effective techniques to remember what you read. So, stay tuned. So why do we forget what we read? It's a question that has puzzled many of us, and the answer lies in the science of our brain. The human mind is a complex machine, constantly processing a myriad of information. When we read, our brain is simultaneously juggling multiple tasks, deciphering words, constructing sentences, and creating mental images. Amidst all this, if our concentration slips even for a moment, the information slips away, lost in the abyss of our memory. Distractions play a big role too. Every time your phone pings or someone interrupts you, your focus is broken, and it becomes harder for your brain to retain the information. And then, of course, there's the issue of understanding. If we don't fully grasp what we're reading, it's like trying to hold water in a sieve. It's bound to slip through. But don't worry, the following techniques will help you combat these issues. The first technique to remember what you read is active reading. Now, what is active reading? It's not just about passively consuming words on a page. Instead, it's about engaging with the text, questioning it, summarizing it, and visualizing it. Let's break it down. Engaging with the text means looking for the main ideas and supporting details. You're not just a spectator, you're a detective, seeking out the meat of the message. Questioning the text helps you to think critically. Ask yourself, what is the author trying to say? Or how does this information fit into what I already know? Summarizing the text in your own words helps cement the information in your mind. And finally, visualizing the information can help you remember it better. Try to create a mental image of what you're reading. Active reading might take some time to get used to, but once you do, it becomes a game changer. The second technique is spaced repetition. Now, you might be wondering, what is it? Well, it's pretty much in the name itself. This technique is all about repeating or revisiting the information that you've read. But here's the catch. You do it at increasing intervals. Imagine reading a chapter today. Instead of cramming all the information in one go, you'd revisit the same chapter, say after a day. Then you'd repeat this after 2 days, then maybe after a week. This way, you're not just reading the information, but you're reinforcing it in your mind, making it stick for longer. Spaced repetition capitalizes on the psychological spacing effect. This effect suggests that our brains are more likely to retain information reviewed over a longer span of time rather than in a single study session. It's like watering a plant. You don't drown it in one go. You water it little by little over time. Spaced repetition is a proven method to strengthen the memory of what you've read. The third technique is mind mapping. This is a method that works wonders for visual learners, but anyone can benefit from it. Picture a tree in your mind. The trunk, the branches, the leaves. Now, what if each part of this tree represented a piece of information you're trying to remember? That's what mind mapping is, creating a visual representation of the information you're trying to learn. Imagine the central idea of what you're reading as the trunk of the tree. The main topics branching out from the central idea become the large branches. Further details or subtopics are the smaller branches, and the finest details, the leaves. This visual representation helps in connecting the dots, seeing how the information flows, and understanding the overall picture. It's like painting a masterpiece with your thoughts and ideas. With mind mapping, you're not just memorizing words on a page, you're creating a mental image that sticks. Mind mapping not only helps you remember, but also understand the material better. So, to recap, we've journeyed together through a realm of techniques that can help us remember everything we read. Let's take a moment to summarize what we've learned, not just for the sake of remembering, but to also see how these methods intertwine and reinforce each other. Our first stop was active reading, a technique that involves more than just gliding your eyes over the lines on a page. It's about engaging with the text, asking questions, and making connections. It's about keeping our minds active and involved in the process of reading, making the information stick like glue. Next, we discussed the power of spaced repetition, a method that leverages the science of forgetting to make us remember. By reviewing what we've learned at specific intervals, we're essentially teaching our brains that this information is valuable and needs to be retained. It's like telling your brain, hey, this is important, don't forget it. Our final stop was the creative world of mind mapping, a technique that uses visual cues to help us remember and connect ideas. By drawing a map of our thoughts, we're creating a visual representation of the information that our brains can latch onto. It's like creating a roadmap for our memories, guiding them back to the information when we need it. Now, these techniques are not magic spells that will instantly transform your memory. They require practice and consistency. The more you use them, the better you'll get at remembering what you read. So make them a part of your reading routine, and soon you'll find that remembering is not as hard as you once thought. And hey, if you're new here and you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to our channel. We have a lot more content like this coming your way, aimed at making your life a little easier, a little more knowledgeable. Remember, the key to remembering what you read is practice and consistency. So keep reading and keep remembering.